Some people are more modern than others.
Okay.
Well, I was at that meeting, and they had a pretty fair turnout, I would say, for the people that were there, and there was a lot of discussion. And a lot of their biggest concerns was the fact of, I think most of the people really believed that there wasn't any real substance in that secondary system, and they know it needs to be changed. But they were really concerned about how their bills are going to go from one rate to another, and wanted an opportunity, and I believe it was it Nephi? Yeah. Is going to head that committee, and they had asked if they would like to have a chance to just look at it. There was a gentleman in there that, I don't think he really meant to undermine what we were doing, but he did make the comment that even though we have our engineer and we presented all this information, that they thought that we were only feeding them the information we wanted them to know. So I think they wanted an opportunity to do their own kind of thing to make sure that the people there in Bunkerville realized that we weren't doing anything that hadn't really been studied. So, but I think it was a good meeting, and we had a lot of good discussion.
We get a little wary when people come across the river.
Do you want to do another motion there, Mr. Buller?
Yeah, I would move that we direct staff to work with the Bunkerville Committee and coming up with some possible solutions, and as directed, you know, utilizing the engineer as minimal as possible, and also direct them to have this brought up as a public hearing in the future. Anything I need to put in there, Kevin, other than that?
I think it's good.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote. All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed?
One more question.
Okay.
I noticed that we already have a December 17th meeting to gather additional comments. Are we still going to have that as our?
I think that will be premature to do that. When I wrote this, I didn't know what was going to come out of this.
Okay, I just wanted to know,
Yeah.
make sure we weren't doing both.
Okay, so we have 4 in favor and 1 missing, so the motion carries.
So, Sandra, are you suggesting that maybe we advise Ryan with Forsgren that he hold off on that hourly $120 rate until we actually need him to do some research for the next meeting? Is that kind of what we're kind of
I
planning
think
here?
so.
Thank
That, you
Ryan,
know.
so thank you.
Okay, he's nodding yes.
Yeah,
So,
he gets it.
okay.
You heard we don't believe the engineers anyways. So.
Yeah.
Well, when we get the information, we'll let him calculate it to him, we'll see where we end up, we'll throw it in the air and come to a solution.
Yeah, and if you feel like hiring an engineer,